Hey, what's up, baseball fans? Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we have some inside pitch back on the table. And tonight, another game from our 1980 look-in, featuring the Indians and the Rangers from April 15th, 1980. And one quick housekeeping thing before we get started. This is the homebrew chart that I use for the base running as opposed to the base rolls. And just real quick, singles past the infield are handled the exact same way as the game does, as our flyouts, stolen bases, line drives, etc., etc. The difference here is for singles to the outfield, left, center, or right, going from first to third or second to home, and then also doubles. I have a modified chart, and it's based on the runner's rating, cross-referenced with the 1D20 roll off of the batter's roll. And to me, I've tried it a couple of times. It's just a little bit easier for me. The one thing I've always, I wouldn't say always, but one thing I do struggle with this game sometimes is the base running. And just looking at this, and it's overall been a little bit quicker for me. So that's why on base advancements, you may see some things that don't jive with the rules that come with the game. So for our lineups, for the visiting Indians, Rick Manning leads off in center, Toby Harrah at third, Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay, at first, Gary Alexander, the DH, George Orta in right, rookie phenom Joe Charboneau in left, Bo Diaz in for Ron Hassey behind the plate today, Dwayne Kuiper at second, and Tom Verizor at short. Pitching for the visiting Indians will be Bob Alchinko. For the homestanding Rangers, as much speed at the top of the lineup as anyone in the AL, maybe outside of Oakland. Mickey Rivers, Mick the Quick, leads it off in center, Bump Wills at second, Al Oliver in left, Buddy Bell at third, John Ellis at first, Richie Zisk, the DH, Billy Sample in right, Jim Sundberg behind the dish. Nelson Norman is at short, and on the mound, former Met John Matlack in the latter stages of his career. So we're ready to go from Arlington Stadium. And Matlack to face Manning. We are underway. First pitch. All right, and right out of the gate, I got to get my head straight here. All right, 5-2 possible K, and 9 against the Rick Manning against the left-handed pitcher, and that is indeed going to be a strikeout. So Manning goes down swinging. Strikeout to start the game. Next up, Toby Harrah, third baseman, steps in and deuces. That would be a fatigued single. Otherwise, we go to the batter's card, which we will, as he is not fatigued, and that is going to be a ground ball down to third base. 5-3 on the putout as Buddy Bell takes care of his counterpart, brings up Mike Hargrove. Hargrove adjusts his cap, his gloves, his belt, his pants, steps out, does it again, steps in. Here comes the pitch, and that's going to be a potential strikeout and gets the left-hander. Hargrove is going to put that into play. And 5-4, and that's going to be a ground ball down to third again. So 1, 2, 3 go the Indians in the top of the first. As John Matlack makes short order of them, head to the bottom of the frame. Bob Alchinko taking the hill, former San Diego Padre, set to pitch to Mick the Quick. And Rivers looks to start it off for the Rangers here in the bottom of the first inning. And 3-2, that's going to be a possible strikeout. Mickey Rivers checks his swing. Home plate umpire says, "You went around, have a seat." 1 down, Bump Wills the batter. Alchinko gets a sign and kicks, delivers, and it'll be a switch hitter. And Wills, batting right-handed, is going to put it into play. And that's going to be a single into right field. So Rivers takes a big turn of the base and heads back. See, we're going to get a little running action going here. Rivers is 16, and they're going to play it safe, so he will not steal or try to steal. Brings up Al Oliver. So Archinko, the lefty, kicks and delivers, and that's going to be a possible home run. Oliver, a big swing against the left-hander. That ball is deep, it is far, and it is gone. A 2-run shot, and Texas, much to the delight of the home fans, jumps out to a 2-0 lead. Off of the 2-run bomb by Al Oliver, and that'll bring up Buddy Bell, the cleanup hitter. Now Chinko, rolled that by accident, 6-5, tries to recollect himself, and that is going to be a range play. And now we will bring in the other dice, and 1-2, that's going to be a single into center field, and a range of 3, and center field is Rick Manning. He's going to run that down and make a shoestring catch. So great defensive play by Manning. Again, range is one of my favorite mechanics of this game. It comes into play so much, and it does make a big difference. And I keep rolling the range dice. 4-5, that's going to be a potential throwing error. So we'll go to John Ellis's card. And 4-5 by Ellis. That's going to be a fly ball into right field, so no throwing error potential there. Inning is over. But the Rangers strike for 2 on Al Oliver's mammoth blast. We head to the top of the second inning, 2-0, Texas in front. And it's going to be Alexander, Orta, and Charboneau for the Indians. And 1-2, possible K, and Alexander gets the lefty. He's going to go down with a big hack, so Matlack throwing BBs here in the first 1+ innings. 3-5, and it's going to be a potential error on a throwing play as well. And 6-5, and that's going to be a double into center field, into the gap, all the way to the wall, and running that down is Mickey Rivers, but chugging into second, and he's going to get there standing up, George Orta. First hit of the ball game for the Indians, and that brings up Joe Charboneau. Charboneau perfectly capable of tying this up if he gets one in his wheelhouse. And 3-5, we're going to have another potential throwing error. So going to Charboneau's card, 1-4, and that is going to be a single into right field. And 16, Orta is a range run rating of 3. And 16, he's going to hold at third base, again using my homebrewed runner advancement chart. So runners at the corners. 1 down, Matlack. He's got to get busy here. Bo Diaz, the batter. And it's going to be a 5-1. Possible K, Diaz. And Diaz way out in front of that curveball. Strike 3. And a big out for Matlack. Looking to strand the runners on the bases now. 2 down, Dwayne Kuiper steps in. And 3-2, another possible K. And Matlack again, but this time it's to Kuiper, good contact hitter. He's going to put it into play. And 4-4, that is a single past second base. And going first to third with a run rating of 3+, and that is going to be Charboneau is actually going to hold at second base, but the Indians are on the board as George Orta trots home. Runners on first and second. RBI single for Kuiper, and they're right back in this 2-1. Tom, can you hear me now? Verizon steps up, and that is going to be, would have been a potential home run with a lefty. Verizon is going to put it in play. 5-5, Starline 3, ground ball down to third. Side is retired as Buddy Bell takes care of Verizon. But the Indians claw back for a run on 3 hits. Leave a couple. We head to the bottom of the second inning. 2-1, Texas in the lead, and it's going to be Richie Zisk, Billy Sample, and Jim Sundberg for the Rangers facing Bob Alchinko. Alchinko gets a sign from Diaz, sets and delivers 5-2, and against the right-hander, it's going to be put into play. So Richie Zisk, 3-5, and it's going to be a Starline 6. Fly ball into right field, and going back short of the track to haul that in is George Orta, 1 down. It's going to bring up Billy Sample. sample his first time up today, and I still keep doing that. And we're going to go to Sample's card. He's going to put that into play. Sample, 1 and 2, smokes that down the first base line, and reaching out to snag that is Hargrove. So L3 in the scorebook, and 2 quick outs for Alchinko here in the second. Jim Sundberg, the batter, 4 and 4, and that is going to be a range play at the park. Going to the park card for the first time. Now I can throw the blue die. And 2 and 6, that's going to be a drive into left field, and Joe Charboneau out there, and his range is not going to get to that. So chugging around first base easily into second is Sundberg with a 2-out double. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Nelson Norman. So Alchinko in danger of the Rangers extending their lead. And that is going to be a contact play off of Norman's card. Possible strikeout if he was a lefty. 1 and 3, and Starline 5 is going to be a drive into center field. Plenty of room out there for Manning to pull that in. So the Rangers get a hit, but leave that runner at second base. We head to the third, 2-1, Texas in front. And both sides back to the top of the order. Matlack will face Manning, Hargrove, and or Hara and Hargrove. Here comes a pitch, and 4 and 6, another possible K. Manning against the lefty. Can't check his swing again. He goes down on strikes. So second time Manning is fanned. 1 down for Hara. Hara steps in, and the right-hander are going to be contact. Almost a possible home run. 1 and 5, and it's going to be a single pass to third baseman, so Hara has his first hit of the day. And once again, Matlack with a runner on after a very easy first inning. Struggled in the second. And not starting too spiffy here in the third, but he's got another potential strikeout. Hargrove, though, besides taking a half hour for each at bat, is an excellent contact hitter. He's going to put that in play, and that's going to be a drive into right field. And going back near the track to pull that in is Billy Sample. Trotting back to first is Harris, so 2 down now for the designated hitter. Gary Alexander struck out his first time up. Here comes a pitch, and that's going to be contact. Alexander gets a big whack at that, and against the left-hander, that's going to be a ground ball down to third base, and a nice backhanded stop there, and throwing across the diamond is Bell. So the Indians get a hit, leave 1, and we head to the bottom of the third, still 2-1 Texas, as Mickey Rivers will be the batter. Mick the Quick struck out his first time up, and here comes a pitch from Alchinko. 6 and 1 would have been a fatigued single. Going to go to Rivers' card, and deuces against the left-hander. That's going to be a ground ball down to first base, and taking that himself is Hargrove. So 3 unassisted, and Bump Wills will be the batter. Wills singled and scored his first time up. 1 and 6, possible strikeout, and against the left-hander, no adjustment for Arlington Stadium, so Rivers is going to put that into play. 2 and 1, Starline 6, fly ball into shallow right field. Running into the underhanded basket catch out there is George Orta. So 2 quick outs, and Alchinko has rebounded nicely from the first inning after giving up that home run. And speaking of which, that man, Al Oliver, steps up. 6 and 2, this time it's a possible K, but Oliver's going to get wood on that. And Big Al, that's going to be a single pass shortstop. So Oliver making an early bid for Offensive Player of the Day with his second hit. Brings up third baseman Buddy Bell. And 3 and 5 against the right-hander. That's going to be a contact play. Bell 1s, and Starline 4 will be a fly ball into shallow left field, and easy play out there for Charboneau. So the Rangers get a hit and strand him. We're heading to the top of the fourth inning, 2-1. Texas in front, and for the Indians, it'll be Orta and Charboneau, both with hits their first time up, and Bo Diaz. So Matlack, 6 and 5 will go to Orta's card. And that's going to be a ground ball down to third base, so 5-3 on the putout. Nice play there by Buddy Bell. Cleveland starts off the 4th inning with a ground ball out, and Joe Charboneau, the batter. And Charboneau going to be a possible strikeout, 11 against the lefty, and Charboneau is going to get wood on that. He does strike out quite a bit, but this time it's going to be a ground ball down to second base, and easy play there for Bump Wills. Takes the candy hop, whips it to first. 2 down for catcher Bo Diaz, who struck out his first time up. Here comes a pitch, and 3-2. Another possible strikeout, and another strikeout for Diaz. So Matlack, he's got Diaz and Manning in his doghouse today. Both of them striking out twice. 3 up, 3 down go the Indians as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-1 Texas in front. And now Chinko is going to face Ellis, Zisk, and Billy Sample. And possible error on a ground ball for Ellis. And 5-1. Ellis, though, doesn't need that. That's going to be a drive down the right field line. That's going to get down to the corner, and Ellis chugging around first. Here comes the throw. Head first slide. He is safe. Leadoff double. And that is hit number 5 for the Rangers as Richie Zisk looking to extend the lead, 6-3, and possible hit by pitch. And Zisk, that's going to be in play. 2-1, fly ball into shallow left field for Richie, and Charboneau takes that easily, and Ellis has no place to go at second. 1 down, runner still in scoring position, and possible K, Billy Sample against the lefty, swing and a miss. A big strikeout for Alchenko. 2 down now, and that'll bring up catcher Jim Sundberg. 5-2 against the right-hander. That's going to be in play. And Sundberg, 4-5. That'll be a ground ball down to shortstop. So after the leadoff double, Alchinko pitches out of the inning as Verizor makes the backhand play. 1 hit for the Rangers. They leave him. And we're through 4. It is still 2-1. Texas in front. And the crusty veteran, John Matlack, preparing to face Dwayne Kuiper Snacks. 5-1. Possible K for Matlack, and Kuiper is going to put that into play. 6-4, and that's going to be a fly ball into left field, and coming in to take that on the run is Oliver, 1 down. Tom, can you hear me now? Verizor steps in, 1-4, and that's going to be a range play off Verizor's card. So Big Tom, single into right field, and in right field for the Indians with a range of 4, and making that play easily is Billy Sample. So the range plays are not going in Cleveland's favor tonight. 2 quick outs, back to the top of the order, Rick Manning. And Manning has the collar, 2 strikeouts so far against Matlack. And 4, and he's going to get a possible walk this time, and holding back on the swing. First free pass of the game as Manning trots down to first. And we are going to think about him stealing. Yeah, we'll decide not to. Playing very conservative today as Toby Harris steps in. Getting to the meat of the order, 3-6 from Matlack, and that is going to be a in-play result from Harris' card. Potential home run against a lefty, or if he was a lefty, I should say. So 2-6, and that's going to be another potential base on balls, and 9. Harris is going to draw the walk, so 2 straight free passes for Matlack. And coming out to talk to him is going to be Jim Sundberg. Get their sign straight. Pats Matlack on the back. Gets back behind the dish. Here comes a pitch to Hargrove. And 3-1. We're going to have a range play. Ballpark play. So Arlington Stadium, a decent hitter's park. 6-3. And we're going to go to the rare play chart. Men on base, no less. So 6-5, 3-2 pitch called a ball for a walk. Catcher argues and gets thrown out of the game. So Jim Sundberg unable to bite his tongue, and he's going to get an early shower. All right, so it looks like Dave Roberts will be the man behind the dish. So Roberts, definitely a very early utility player. As a catcher, he is not great, but he's all they got. So and he actually does have a better arm than Sundberg. So there is that. All right, we have a new catcher. We also have the bases loaded. And Gary Alexander can get Indians up in a big way. Here comes a pitch. Matlack in a pickle and going to Alexander's card. Can he come through a little 2-out lightning? 2 and a 4, and that's going to be a star line 3. Ground ball down to third base. Right at the third baseman, Buddy Bell, who makes a long throw across the diamond, and Matlack pitches out of precarious inning. Leaves the bases loaded. We're heading to the bottom of the fifth, halfway down in this one. 2-1, Texas still in front. And it's going to be Nelson Norman, and back to the top of the order, Rivers and Wills. Alchinko has pitched very well since the first inning, and possible wild pitch new. 3 to 4, and that is going to be a potential home run. And we're going to check first on the pitcher's card with the question mark by it. And that will not, so we go to Norman's. 3 to 2, and that's going to be a single past second base. So the 9th place hitter gets on, and the Rangers looking to extend their lead. Top of the order, Mickey Rivers, the batter. And 1 and 4, and another possible wild result, and 20 is not going to be anything wild. Reset, Alchinko 6 and 5, range play. So range plays have been good to the Rangers defensively. Let's see if Cleveland gets a break. 4 and 6 by Mickey Rivers. That's actually a star line 5, and that'll be a fly ball into center field. And in center field for the Indians, Manning able to run that down easily. Got a great jump on that and took a potential base hit away. Bump Wills the batter. And 4 and 1, and it's going to be a possible strikeout. And against the left-hander, Wills swing and a miss. Big whiff at that fastball as Wills went after a 1-2 high pitch and back to the dugout for his troubles. Possible hit by pitch for Al Oliver. And he is going to get to swing 1-5 off Oliver's card. And that is going to be a split chance to left field. And against the left-hander, a 7, and that is going to be a double. And I'm going to roll the 1d20 again for runner advancement. So base runner Nelson Norman is a 3. He needs a 1 or, a 1 to 9 to come home on the double to left, and he scores easily on that. And again, using the homebrewed run advancement charts. So Al Oliver continues his offensive onslaught, has all 3 RBIs as the Rangers take a 3-1 lead. 2 down, Buddy Bell steps in, Alchinko, and 6 and 5. That's going to be a range play off of Bell's card. And 2-4, ground ball to second base, and getting to that easily is the Very agile Dwayne Kuiper, so side is retired, but the Rangers get a couple of hits and another run. We are through 5. Texas leads Cleveland 3-1. And Matlack, let's see, his fatigue rating is 28. So you can get to Toby Harrah for the 4th time, and Alchinko is 26. So 3rd time he gets to Billy Sample, he'll be tired. All right, here we go. Top of the 6th inning. George Orta. Orta is 1 for 2, runs scored and a double. Here comes a pitch by Matlack, and the left-hander, possible home run. Orta, big swing, and no. 3-3, it's going to be a fly ball instead, all the way back to the warning track, but room to pull that in out there for the left fielder, Al Oliver. So a long loud out here to start the 6th inning as Joe Charboneau steps in. Charboneau 1 for 2 today. 4-5, and going to Charboneau's card, Super Joe. 4-5 for him. That's going to be a hard ground ball down to shortstop, and Nelson Norman, no problem with that. Sidearm throw across the diamond, and John Ellis gloves it. 2 down, Bo Diaz the batter. 4-5, and it's going to be to Diaz's card. And 2-6, that's going to be a single into center field, so a 2-out hit for the Indians, and they are alive here as Matlack pounds his glove, set to face Kuiper. Kuiper 1 for 2, has the Indians RBI back in the 2nd inning. 3-5, possible error on a throw. 5-1, Starline 4, I should say. That is going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, so we could have an error here. And with an error rating of 16, Rotro. That will indeed be an error. All right, so a 5 on that, and it's going to be a 1-base advancement. All right, so E6, and Matlack should have been out of this inning. We'll see if that cost him as Verizor. Set to step in, and deuces would have been a single with fatigue, but Matlack is still fresh. 4 is on Verizor's card, and that's going to be a ground ball down to 3rd base again, and a nice play at 3rd. Buddy Bell, he's made a couple of inning plays, so inning is over. Indians get a hit. 1 error, 2 left as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 3-1. Texas still in front and looking to extend its lead. Alchinko, he's going to be tired with the 3rd batter he faces in this inning. So Mike Stanton and Victor Cruz have begun to warm up in the Indians' bullpen. John Ellis steps in. Alchinko needs a 3-up, 3-down inning. Possible K off to a great start. Swing and a miss. Ring him up, Johnny, as Ellis back to the dugout. Makes him 1 for 3 on the day. Richie Zisk, the batter. 2-1 going to Zisk's card. And 1-3 pops him up into shallow right field, and drifting back under that to pull it in is Dwayne Kuiper. So F4, and Alchinko getting the inning he wanted as Billy Sample steps in. This will be his last batter if he gets out of the inning. 6 is possible K, and Alchinko finishes in style. Strikes out 2 of 3. 3-up, 3-down go the Rangers. We're through 6. And Texas clings to a 3-1 lead. And with the game close, it is going to be Victor Cruz who comes in. So not a bad day for Alchinko. He gave up 3 runs. And Cruz, 6 and 3. All right, so Alchinko goes 6 innings. Gives up a total of 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned. And with that last big inning in terms of strikeouts, leaves him with a total of 5 on the day and no walks. And of course, the very costly home run. So not a bad day of work overall for Alchinko, but he does stand to lose it unless Rick Manning can start a rally here. And Matlack, he's also going to be fatigued with his second batter faced in this inning. 6-1, possible error on a ground ball. So Rick Manning, 4-1. That is indeed a ground ball back to the pitcher. And Matlack, he is going to throw that away. So boots it, and a runner goes one base. So E1. And that is not the way he wanted to start this inning. Actually, too, I do play with a house rule for fatigue. I think it is in the rules. I'm not sure, but I standardly do this anyway. 1 run or less at fatigue point, and the pitcher will remain fresh until he gives up a subsequent run. So, Toby Hara, the batter now. And 6s, and that is going to be a split play. So against a right-handed batter, that's going to be a single past the pitcher on a roll of 1 to 17, but it is not. So going to Harris card, 6s, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. And believe it or not, we are in the 7th inning. This is our first double play opportunity of the game, and pivot result. No pivot adjustments for the Rangers. Matlack has no adjustment to the double play. It's going to be all up to Toby Hara, and he's got a double play rating of 2 and no. It's going to be a fielder's choice. So Manning's raced at second base, 1 down. And Mike Hargrove, the batter. Hargrove, 4-6, possible K, but again, a good contact hitter, so he's going to get some wood on that. And Hargrove with a big swing, grounds that down to third base, and we are going to have another potential double play. Hargrove is a 3. Can Bell turn it? No, again. So a second fielder's choice, 5-4 on that put out. And the Indians clinging to hope. And again, Matlack is still considered fresh. He'll be fatigued next inning regardless. 6-5, and that's going to go to Alexander's card, Gary Alexander. 5-6, and against the left-hander, that's going to be another ground ball down to Bell. So Bell had a busy day, makes a long throw across the diamond, and sides are tired. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left as we head to the 7th inning stretch. And warming up for the Rangers is the mustachioed Sparky Lyle. He'll be ready to come in. Matlack is going to stay on the hill as we enter the bottom of the 7th inning. And I did not gather a 7th inning fun fact today. Sorry to those of you who look forward to that. Instead, it's going to be the new catcher, Dave Roberts, in for the ejected Jim Sundberg, and he faces Victor Cruz to start this off. And 4-3, Cruz, possible K, 1, swing and a miss, blew the heat right by him. So Roberts heads back to the dugout, says, do not worry, I'll have a World Series ring as a Dodgers manager one day. Nelson Norman, the batter. And that's going to be a K plus 10, and still not enough to get Norman, who's a good contact hitter. And 5 is going to be a fly ball into center field. And coming in to take that is Rick Manning. So 2 down, back to the top of the order for Mick the Quick. Rivers today is 0 for 3, had a quiet day at the plate, struck out, flied out, and grounded out unassisted to first base. 6-1, we're going to the ballpark. And will Arlington be kind? And yes, Mickey Rivers, single past second base. And And Mick the Quick is going to try and steal. So he needs a 2 to attempt it. No, not going to get it done, so that'll bring up Bump Wills. 2 down, Rivers has his lead. 3 and a 5, and against the left-handed hitting Wills, that will go to his card. As a switch hitter pays off there, and Wills drives that into right field, but it's going to be a routine fly ball, and an easy play out there for George Orta. So 1 hit, no runs, no errors. We are through 7, and still started like it might be an offensive outburst today, but it has settled into a pitcher's duel. 3-1, Texas in the lead. 2 innings to go, and Matlack's still on the hill for the home team. He will be fatigued, however. 4 and a 6, possible K, and against Orta, swing and a miss. Matlack not showing any fatigue as Orta blown away. Letter high fastball brings up Joe Charboneau. Joe today is 1 for 3 with a single and 2 groundouts. And 4 and a 6, possible strikeout, and against the left-hander again, Charboneau dodges a bullet. 6 and 2, he's going to smoke that down to the third base line and right at Buddy Bell, though, in self-defense. Bell puts that away. 2 down, and Matlack looking for the complete game victory as Bo Diaz steps in. 1 and a 6, and going to Diaz's card. 2-1, and that is going to be a single into left field, so Diaz keeps hope alive, and Sparky Lyle has signaled he is ready, so whatever Kuiper does will dictate what happens in the pen. And that's going to be a 6 and a 1 and a potential error on a ground ball. So Kuiper, 4-6, and that is going to be a star line 5, indeed a ground ball down to second base. And that play is going to be made cleanly at second base. So Bump Wills bails his pitcher out of the inning, and we are heading to the bottom of the 8th. Still 3-1, Texas in the lead. And facing Cruz for the Rangers, it is going to be Oliver, Bell, and Ellis. Oliver has been a wrecking man, or one-man wrecking ball today. He is 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, double and a home run, a run scored. Cruz looking to retire him for the first time, and K+ against a righty, but Oliver is left-handed, so he's going to put it in play. 4 and a 3, and finally, ground ball down to shortstop. Verizon's going to make the play in the hole. And Oliver heads back to the dugout without a reward for the first time today. Brings up Buddy Bell. And Buddy Bell 4-1 wild. Reroll, and Cruz 5 and a 5, and that's going to be a potential walk. And against the right-hander, it's going to go into play. Bell takes a big hack at that, and he drives that opposite field into right for a base hit. Yeah, this will be the last batter Cruz can face and be fresh. 6 and a 3. It's going to be a range play off of Ellis's card, and 1 and a 4, and it's going to be a fly ball into center field. A little suspense, and Manning out there is a 3. Can he get to that? And he can. Snow cones it. So 2 down, and scampering back to first base is Buddy Bell. Thought that one was dropping for sure as Richie Zisk steps in. And Zisk today is looking for his first hit. 2 and a 6, and that's going to be a K+, and Richie Zisk against the right-hander, 16, and that's just going to get him foul tip hung on to. Side is retired. So the Rangers get a hit. No runs, no errors. Leave 1 as we head to the final frame. And Matlack is finally going to take a seat. Now Sparky Lyle's going to come in and look to nail this down. So Matlack, excellent outing. Went 8 innings. Gave up 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Had a little bout of wildness back in the 5th where he walked 3. So walked 3, struck out 5. No home runs, and Lyle is going to come on and try and nail this down for the Rangers. Sparky Lyle, the left-hander, he was 3-2 with 10 saves and a not very stellar 4.28 ERA in 1980. It's definitely not one of his peak seasons. Will he have enough to get it done here? Verizon will be the first to find out. 1 and a 2, and that's going to be a potential error regardless of where it goes. So 6-2, and against the left-hander, that's going to be a single past second base. And that will just stand as a simple base hit. So Verizon gets on. Let me double check that. Failed error check. Actually, I'm sorry. Failed error check on a single. Infield single. Okay, so yeah, he's still at first base. But that wouldn't be an error because he won't advance. All right. We are good. Back to the top of the order now. Rick Manning, rolling the wrong dice. 5-1 Lyle, and that's going to be a potential walk against the left-hander, 7 or less. And nope, going to Manning's card. And 2-1, and that is going to be a single into center field, and 14 is the 1D20 roll. Verizon has a base running rating of 1. So first to third on a single to center, and he's going to hold up at second. So some second guessing. Maybe Matlack should have stayed in. Sparky Lyle gives up hits to the first 2 batters he faces, and 2-2 would have been a potential home run against a lefty. Hara, though, he's going to put it into play, 1-6, and another single. That's into right field. And coming first to second to home on a single to right. And again, using my home-brewed run rating, that's not going to be enough to get it done, but the sacks are loaded, nobody out. Mike Hargrove, we're coming in for a big finish, and going out to talk to Lyle is Dave Roberts. Lyle said he wishes he had Sundberg in. Some stern words are passed, and Roberts heads back behind the plate. Possible K for Sparky Lyle, but Hargrove, that good contact, he's going to put it into play. 4 and a 5, and that is going to be a single past first base. So single past first base, and runner on second is a 3. So the bases will remain loaded, but the Rangers have it moved 1 run closer, as coming in to score is Verizon. And still nobody out. Sparky Lyle struggling, and it's his game to save or lose. At this point, Gary Alexander steps in. 2 or 3, potential throwing error. Wow. And 5s, and that is going to be a fly ball into center field. Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. All right, so sacrifice fly rating for a Gary Alexander is a 3. And that is going to tie up the ball game. Wow. And still nobody out. So runners on first and second, Gary Alexander. The sacrifice fly, and we are looking at potentially free baseball or a very bad Rangers implosion here in the 9th inning. As Sparky Lyle facing George Orta, lefty-lefty matchup. Fans are not happy with Lyle going to Orta's card. Do the hits keep coming? 6 and a 5, and George Orta, he's going to drive that into the outfield at double, and that is going to get home. The go-ahead run is coming to score is Hara. Runners now on second and third. 3 runs in, unbelievable, and in the bullpen, Bob Babcock is throwing furiously. Lyle's still got to face 2 batters. That's another homebrewed rule I have. And first one's going to be Joe Charboneau. Can Super Joe punish him more and a potential throwing error? This game has gone off the rails for the Rangers, and against the left-hander, it's going to be a single past third base. Holy crap. A single past third base and at third base, and that is going to be no error, but second to home, it's got to be a 5+ for the runner on second to come home. He is not that, but still another run comes in as Mike Hargrove trots across the plate, and the Rangers are reeling here as Indian batters are unloading on Sparky Lyle. A tremendous meltdown, and Bo Diaz, this will be the last batter Lyle faces probably. Well, it will be. He's just imploded here in this inning. 6 and a 4 and possible walk against the right-hander, and 6. Diaz going to put it in play. 4 and a 5, and that's going to be a star line 5. Ground ball down to second base. And Diaz, Lyle has a double play adjustment of 0. So 3 or less, Lyle's going to get out of it, and mercifully 4-6-3 double play. But the damage is done as the Indians push across 4 big runs. On 6 hits, and they have come all the way back. The lead is now 5-3 heading into the bottom of the 9th inning, as Sparky Lyle is booed heartily as he leaves the field. Victor Cruz now stands to win this, and coming in to try and nail it down for the Indians will be Sid Monge, and Monge, 14 saves, a 3-5 record, 3.53 ERA. So Cruz, he goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, no runs, and has 2 strikeouts. So Ranger fans in disbelief as this game was victory, or defeat snatched from the jaws of victory here, as it's going to be Billy Sample, Dave Roberts, and Nelson Norman, bottom of the order, 5-5, and Monge going to go to Sample's card. Rangers fan rally caps on, and against the left-hander, that's going to be a fly ball into deep left field, and going back to pull that down is Charboneau, and that would have been a double against a right-handed pitcher. So the matchup pays off there, 5 and a 6, and actually if that was Cruz, that would have been a double. So managerial strategy that time pays off. 5 and a 6 going to Roberts, and off of Monge's card, possible strikeout, and Roberts blown away by the fastball. So 2 outs, and Nelson Norman is the last chance for the Rangers, who expected to not even be hitting in the 9th inning the way the game was going. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's going to be a star line. And this ball game is going to be over. Fly ball into center field, high and routine, and circling under that is Rick Manning, and that is the ball game. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Rangers, and the Indians have completed the improbable comeback. A 5-3 victory in a game that it looked like they were for sure destined to lose. Wow. And again, you question, Matlack was fatigued, but if he had stayed on in the 9th, would things be different? Who knows? As it sits, final line score. The Indians, 5 runs on 12 hits, 1 error, and 6 of those hits came in the 9th off of Lyle. The homestanding Rangers, 3 hits, or 3 runs. 3 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors. And that is the ball game. 5-3 Indians final. So the winning pitcher in relief is Victor Cruz. Sid Monge gets a save, and the loser is Sparky Lyle, as he was absolutely shellacked. Offensive player of the game, it was for sure going to be Al Oliver, who was 3 for 4 in a losing cause, had all 3 of the Rangers runs driven in. But in the winning cause, let's see, we will go to George Orta. George Orta, 2 for 5, had a couple of doubles, runs scored, and actually had the go-ahead RBI. So he is your offensive player of the game. So that's going to be it from Arlington Stadium. Again, an inside pitch, 1980 look-in back on the table. Hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching and support of the channel. And coming up, we'll get some more boxing in and also another look at the development of Glory Days baseball. So hope everyone has a great night. Until next time, keep rolling for the fences. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Take care, everyone.